Hey guys, Brett from KCT here. Oh, what a year! So this is early 2020. The inauguration has just taken place, and I'm getting sort of a bunch of messages somehow from the Hall of Justice. Yeah, so with the current change in leadership and the change in the climate of the 2A community to match, there's going to be probably some big, I guess, changes that we're going to see with not just my channel, but a lot of other channels too. You know, when you hear Tim from the Military Arms channel say that, hey, they're not running a bunch of rounds through just because they don't have the ammo, they're sponsored by Federal. You know, and other people like Nut Fancy, he buys all of his own ammo with Patreon money, but you know he's not going to go out there and blow it in a huge crazy test. Aaron Cowan, the burn down is kind of being put on the back burner. um, and so it's really important to kind of look at what we can do with what we have. Speaking of doing, we need to get yeah, that's going to be a big goal for 2020 as it's getting in shape. I think we're going to need it. Anyways, so as far as all that goes, a lot of training with the 22 kits. That's really kind of saving my bacon because right now I've just stacked 22 for years, and I just get to burn it all, so it's all right. Um, so, but there's gonna be a lot of DIY things. There's gonna be a lot of kind of like hobby hacks to improving your gun because there's a lot of guys that are gonna get guns and girls that they're like, okay, cool, now I've got this thing, and I've got one box of 20 rounds that they sold me when I bought it. I'll probably keep that just to protect myself. But what do I do to kind of skill up in the meantime? What do I do to sort of get myself familiar with this? And I think that's going to be a big focus of this channel. Just trying to get people into the groove of dry fire training, working your malfunctions, seeing what you can do at home, doing more with less, essentially. Because really, we're going to be probably coming into a lean few years, and we haven't even seen the beginning of the ammo shortage. I mean, this is all panic buying prior to the election and inauguration. Um, it's going to be very hard to find it. When you do find it, it's going to be very expensive. So being able to work on stuff at home, being able to work on like your positions at home, barricade stuff at home, like whether there's a 9-hole or anything else like that, it's just going to be important because we're not going to. I mean, nobody gets to shoot as much as they wish that they could, except for maybe Brandon Herrera. Oh, maybe Rowski too. Yeah, yeah, probably them at least. Yeah, but we're not going to get a chance to shoot as much as we want, and that's just a fact. So what are we going to do in the meantime? Are we going to put our guns, in a gun safe, in a closet, or whatever, and just let them just chill out for 4 years ish, something like that? If you're doing that, then you are probably maybe owning a gun for not the wrong reason, but you need to probably re-examine why you have it and what you're doing with it, because now is the time to get familiar with your guns. If you've got multiple guns, get them out and get working on them. The AR will make you a lazy shooter. There's no two ways about that. When you go to an AR and you're just used to like a 5.56 with a muzzle brake, you get so lazy. And then also you go to like a 30-06, which you gotta know we're going up in caliber, or a shotgun, which again is up. But you watch people just get pushed around after shooting an AR with no point of reference to these bigger guns. So there's gonna be a lot of that. There's gonna be a lot of reviews of some things that are either high value or something that we've already got here at the channel. We do have lots of stuff coming up for review as well. And some people send us some very cool stuff in. We can't really talk about it, but it's on the way. And yeah, so just wanted to give you guys a quick update for 2021. It's going to be, I don't know, I mean, I'm looking forward to it because now I can actually just openly mock people, be savage. But for real, guys, think about it. Get medical training, work out. I'm trying to whip myself back into shape. Get the tools that you need, not just a gun. Get stuff to clean it, get the stuff to maintain it. If you don't know what you're doing, get an armorer's manual. Chris with Small Arm Solutions, I know he doesn't give me a kickback. I mention him like every video, but he writes armorer's manuals for Colt and a bunch of other companies, Core 15, stuff like that. So he'll be definitely a guy to approach on that. So learn, realize that you can do a lot at home with dry firing. You can go ahead and work on your urban prone or on your couch or whatever, scare your cat. Remember to be safe, guys. Safety first. But things that you would go to the range and do a couple times, and then you go off to do something else. Yeah, throw Black Hawk down on it and just practice shooting over your chair. Um, and then also too, I mean, like just the fundamentals, mag changes. You see these guys, especially Austin. I know you. But guys that are running out and doing these competitions, and I mean, like it also looks like sorcery, and that's what they do is just practice this all day. You'll see videos of competition shooters, and they're just like, "Oh, here's my handgun, reloaded," and you're just like, "Wow, how'd that happen?" Thousands of hours, of work. It didn't just happen overnight. So, yeah, definitely think about getting in shape. Think about your friends, your family. Get a backup plan. Put some medical stuff in your car. I mean, just at the very, very least. I mean, I've cut my fingers open recently. I've busted the ends off two of them and then cut the other one out on the side of a knife. And having medical stuff around to fix that is really, really nice, even if it's just a boo-boo bag. Obviously, I would encourage people, put a tourniquet in your car, within reach. Make sure you get your phone charged. And the only reason I'm saying this, and I don't want to get too political because there are other people that do this way more and way better than I do. And so I don't want you to think anything that I'm saying here is construed as overly political, but I'm just trying to say it in the simple fact that if you are a person that is into firearms, chances are you're either a right wing or right leaning person or a left leaning person who realizes the value of security and being able to protect yourself or just the fun of them. But I think a lot of people on the left have picked up guns over the past 4 years because they're like, oh God, why don't we have rifles? Well, you outlawed them. Why do conservatives have all of them? You outlawed them and then they bought them. So yeah, that's why you don't have any guns and you can't get any. But if you think how bold some of the mobs and some of the crowds and some of the protests have been, we're not going to say anything in particular about any specific one, but both sides have gotten increasingly bolder, whether you're right wing, left wing, however that works. And, with a lot of the funding that is funneled their way, we're not going to say any names because I don't want a suicide note attached to my body. I want to shoot myself twice in the back of the head in kneeling position. But there's really a lot of stuff going around where people are being paid to do this stuff. And then people are just doing it out of just genuine mean-spiritedness. So if you think that the people that you were looking at over the past 4 years were pretty bold, imagine now that they have a person in charge, a commander-in-chief, who at least on paper espouses their values. So you get crazy under Trump, but he's never going to take the stance of some of the far left liberal stuff. However, you basically just do whatever you want, and then just Papa Joe, you take care of this. And I don't mean to sound silly, and I don't mean to hate on Biden a little bit, but think about that. If you push this up far enough, you stop at a person who is very, very left leaning. So guys, buy magazines. Realize that the Clinton assault weapons ban, that was a decade, 94 to 2004, 10 years. And you could not have a magazine, I think it was over 10 rounds. So if you go far enough back on ARFCOM, you go far enough back on like M4 carbine, you can see guys that are like trading for 30-round magazines. Like they're making house payments, they're making mortgages, selling like a couple 30-round magazines. So I predict it's just going to get uglier, guys. So understand, that if you have money, buy ammo, buy magazines, buy anything that you think that would be not so allowed in the coming months. Mr. Guns and Gear has a great video of, okay, now that we're here with Biden, what do we want to buy? What should we buy? And that's important. Also, guys, don't forget your food, water. Guys, stay hydrated. A little more extra water didn't hurt. And just be understanding that you are probably going to be in a situation that maybe over the next 4 years I'm not going to say it's worse, but it's going to be different than obviously what we had before. And I was pushing the microphone here. And again, if people are emboldened, and they know that no matter how far they go up, they can just cry on someone's shoulder and pull the skirt out. And there's the commander-in-chief. It's one of those things that it's gonna trickle down to people once they realize that they can go as far as they want, or they're gonna defund law enforcement because whatever reasons. Yeah, so batteries for your lights. So I don't know how this turned into like a like a prepper, but like a weird kind of thing. But anyways, guys, you're gonna see a lot more stuff like that. There's some light reviews coming up, some red dot reviews. Definitely got some interesting stuff coming from Evolve 3D Printing. I've been fortunate enough to associate with those guys and work on kind of an interesting little project there. And so on and so forth. Guys, if you have something you want to see on the channel, go ahead and put it in the comments, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll stop rambling because if I keep talking, it'll be 2022. Yeah. Guys, I would say that's all I have for you today. But you know what? I'd rather say, see you.